Hi, my name is Phoenix and this is TFL Design, and today I'm going to attempt to cheer myself up and get myself into the holiday/Christmas spirit. I come from a family that celebrates Christmas, and I would, used to have Christmas dinner with my family, my extended family. Like, we would all gather with my cousins and uncles and open gifts and stuff. But ever since I moved out and lived with my husband, their family does not, really celebrate this stuff, nor do they get into the holiday spirit with like trees and presents or, singing or anything. And so, unless I visit my family in the States, I don't really feel that Christmas cheer. So other than hanging out with friends that do celebrate or, visiting a department store that has a tree up, I really don't get to feel that. I don't really do much to celebrate myself, which, clearly I could, but I don't because I lack that cheer since my partner doesn't really care for that. So in order to cheer myself up, I'm going to do a little online shopping. So do you want to do some online shopping with me? Let's go. Obviously, I have a lot of my favorites/wish list stuff on some of my favorite sites. You can see this Alexander McQueen cuff that I had looked at in one of my last videos. I, had seen this in store, tried it out, because I was actually looking for this one right here on the right, but they didn't have it in store, and instead they showed me another one, which turns out to be a men's design, and I sort of like it even better. Probably makes more sense on my wrist. Trying it out in store and then end up buying it on sale online is almost always the move, because I'm pretty sure the Alexander McQueen stores and websites do not have this on sale, but places like Farfetch and, honestly, even other department stores that do have sales, they tend to sell it cheaper, which is kind of crappy if you want to collect commission from me, but what can I say? I like a deal. I don't know why this Caperni cropped blazer is on my wish list. I guess I just want to look out for the price for it because I like the idea of wearing one. The thing is, I'm not really into this like sportier type material. What is this made out of? Polyamide elastane. Yeah, so it's going to be sort of smooth plasticky feel. As I've gotten older and my skin has become more sensitive to like everything, I'm trying to avoid non-breathable material. So I'm buying a lot of like wool, silks, even like cashmere and stuff like that. I'm avoiding anything made out of like polyester, only because it's like wrapping yourself in like a plastic bag. Obviously, that means everything I'm looking at is a lot more expensive, but natural fibers just works better on my old skin now. I'm constantly getting heat rash and other types of rashes for wearing clothes that are against my skin, rub, and just irritate it to no end. Plus, fast fashion uses a lot of polyesters and stuff like that, and I'm trying to do less fast fashion. I'm not saying all high-end or designer clothing is made out of good material or is done really well, but you definitely should look at what it's made out of. As you can see, I also have some red bags that are on my wish list. Not that I would buy this one or this one. It's not really the shapes I care for. I prefer silver hardware. And this bag right here is tiny AF. I actually saw this bag in store. I didn't try to put my phone in it, but it measures about the same height as my phone. So I think if I place my phone in this, it would just stretch out the leather, which is not ideal. This is a really cute, fluffy red bag, and I have the larger version of this in black and gold hardware. And I kind of like the brand, but if they made this in a bigger size with the silver chain, it would have been perfect. I'm currently slowing down on my bag purchases anyway because I kind of have a collection that I'm pretty proud of, and honestly, there's nothing that really catches my eyes. I just want to grab one red bag that I deem the perfect red bag, and I think that'll pretty much complete it for now. So now that I'm not really buying bags, I find myself buying clothes and jewelry and I guess perfumes. Actually, what I'm also looking at is the perfect hat for winter. I like the idea of wearing a shearling fuzzy hat, bucket hat even, but I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm wearing a small bag, where would I put the hat when I get indoors? Would I have to carry it? Like, I like the idea of this fuzzy hat There was a pink version of this that I had on my list for the longest time, but I never pulled the trigger even though it was like sort of on sale and kind of dirt cheap for what it is. But I don't know, it's just, I don't see myself actually wearing this, despite in the past having worn a lot of those cutesy little anime hats. You know, the ones with like cat ears or whatever like that. They were cute, but I'm trying to dress like an adult now. By the way, not all the clothes that I buy are new and expensive just because they are designer. You can actually find quite a few on places like this site called ThreadUp. This is like secondhand clothing that you can get. They have varying levels of use, of course. You can see their standards on some place like here where it's excellent, where it's practically new. There's no signs of it like being used or washed or anything. Those are probably the best you can get it at. At very good, it does show signs of being, you know, used or washed. If there's like a metal buckle on it, it's like, you know, slightly scratched or something. And good items, I've never bought a good item before. I guess that would show super signs of wear with, you know, it being go through the washing machine, pillow, and stuff like that. So I never buy anything that isn't very good or excellent. Like, you can tell if something's gone through the wash or has lost its shape, its original shape after a few washes and wearing. But in general, I think it's really good to, you know, not add to the amount of waste in the world. And if you can buy vintage or slightly used, why not? Especially if it's designer clothing where a lot of people just wear once or twice to some fancy event and then, you know, put it in their closet for 3 years and then sell later. One of the more popular sites for buying secondhand bags is, of course, Fashion File. Just a side note, if you do decide to buy secondhand, you should always note that, you know, counterfeits are a thing and some people somehow get away with selling their bags to these sites and they're counterfeit bags. And so when you buy it, do check the authenticity of it to see if it's real. And, you know, you always risk that chance. But hey, I hear you can also risk that in store too if people decide to return fakes after buying the real. This is the kind of world we live in. The Real, of course, is a place where you can buy a lot of secondhand and vintage bags, but recently I've been coming here a lot for their clothing. I definitely plan to buy something. This will have been my first time buying clothes on this site. As you can see, I've recently gotten into putting a lot of Helmut Lang pieces into my wish list. Since I'm into that really loose, casual type style now, I feel like Helmut Lang really speaks to me. Maybe I should give Peter Doe a look-sees too. But yes, on the Real, anything ranging from like fair to pristine is the range of conditions that they have. It seems for them pristine is when they still have the fashion tag boxes and dust bag and everything included. I guess this is someone bought it from the store, brought it home and just left it in the closet and never used it. Excellent is if it has been used and tags are removed and stuff. And once again, I never buy anything that is below very good. I try to just go from very good up, just so that I know that I would definitely buy it and not get something that's like super used looking. I don't know, it depends. Maybe the worn-in look is good for some leather pieces. So there are plenty of online stores for me to shop from. Eat a List I had bought my Alexander McQueen clutch from. They have some crazy sales once in a while. These are websites that basically list sellers from all over the world, so you're not buying from one specific store. You're buying from small boutiques from all over the world that, you know, have their stuff, that, you know, have something in stock, and usually there's only like one or two of each item. Ooh, remember that really fuzzy coat that I wore that is like fake fur? So while I was wearing this in stores, people were like noting that it was like really cute, and one of the sales associate from a luxury store actually like approached me and asked me like where I got that coat, because to them it looked like a really expensive coat. But honestly, I bought it from AliExpress. Like, AliExpress, strangely, has a lot of decent stuff if you look at the right stores. Obviously, always look for the highest rated places that have been around longer and have, you know, actual comments in their reviews. But yeah, I bought that coat for like $60, $70 Canadian. You can see there's like tons of them here. While walking around luxury stores, they also stare at your shoes to see, you know, what you're wearing. And one of my favorite AliExpress stores to buy leather shoes is this one called Bew Today. I got a lot of compliments from within luxury stores wearing this because there's no branding on this, right? So they just see a nice leather shoe with like impressive metal hardware and they just assume it's the high-end brand of some sort that they don't know, when secretly it's just, you know, a non-famous Chinese shoemaker in China that has had his AliExpress store for like quite a few years now. So I bought more than one from this seller. I have this white and silver one, as well as this version in black. I love these really chunky soles, and as you can see, this one is pretty similar to the soles that, you know, something like Prada would sell. Obviously, it's not like Prada, but it does get away with looking rather high-end without it being a crazy price. This price is in Canadian, by the way, and you basically wouldn't be paying taxes for this, so it's not bad. So yeah, I'm gonna make my final purchases, and if they come before, you know, Christmas comes along, then I'll be sure to do, you know, my Christmas haul video for myself, because I'm sad. But if not, I'll just see you guys around and, you know, patiently wait for my packages to get here and hope that they don't get lost in the mail during this very high volume package season. Oh boy. See you around. Bye-bye. P.S. I'm not really sad. Don't listen to anything I'm saying.